Hi, I'm Dave from TRC. Welcome to our Heat Pump Boss series. Level up your heat pump installs. We've got the tools, tips, and how-tos that will help you make an expert heat pump installer. Today, we're going to focus on the importance of load calculations. Let's dive right in. Before speaking to the importance of load calculations, let's first establish what it is. A load calculation is a method used to determine the heat gain and loss of a home or building. It's intended to ensure that HVAC equipment is properly sized specifically to meet the heating and cooling needs of a defined space. When analyzing and determining the heating or cooling load of a building, it depends on two key factors. One, how much heat is gained or lost, and two, the climate in which it is located. Really, what the load calculation represents is the amount of heating or cooling capacity needed during peak hours to keep the space comfortable, even in extreme weather conditions, where cooling is obviously for the most hot summer extremes and heating is for the most cold winter extremes. Let's start simple. In essence, a load calculation is basically the math that tells us how much heating and cooling a home actually needs. Not what we think it needs, what it really needs. It's the difference between guessing and designing. When we get a load calculation right, the system is comfortable and efficient. When we don't get the calculation right, or we don't complete a calculation altogether, we get callbacks, humidity problems, and homeowners wondering why their new system doesn't feel right. So here's the thing. Every home is different. Two identical houses built side by side can have totally different heating and cooling requirements. Without a proper load calculation, we're flying blind. Load calculations matter because without them, we risk oversizing, comfort issues, humidity problems, short cycling, and we could jeopardize the homeowner's energy costs. Basically, load calcs are the foundation of good heat pump installations. A load calculation isn't just about the square footage. That's one of the myths out there we'd like to dismiss and paint a better picture around. A whole bunch of things influence how a home will need to be heated or cooled. Things like insulation levels, air leakage, climate, windows and doors, and the building's design. All these factors determine the heating and cooling loads. Think about this scenario for a moment. Say you have a 1,500 square foot home. Simple enough, right? But remember, the square footage alone doesn't tell us much. Imagine this. The same home has no insulation, the windows are old and have gaps you could feel air blowing through, and we discovered the walls are barely insulated. All of those details completely change the home's load. They tell a story about how the home holds heat, loses heat, and gains heat. All these things really matter. When we capture those details, we're not just checking boxes. We're building an accurate picture of the home. That picture is what drives a correct load calculation. When we talk about doing a load right, we're really talking about Air Conditioning's Contractors of America, or ACA Manual J. And ACA Manual J is the national standard. It's the playbook for calculating residential heating and cooling loads. Manual J's provide us with the recipe for calculating loads. It ensures we're sizing equipment based on real data, not guesswork. The recipe, as we refer to it here, includes formulas, methods, inputs, and correction factors. Manual J is recognized by American National Standard Institute for producing HVAC equipment sizing loads for residential applications. It is important to note that a proper load calculation performed in accordance with the Manual J procedure is required by national building codes in most states and local jurisdictions. As a reminder, all contractors performing residential load calculations should be familiar with the ACA Manual J standard. Here's the short version of how Manual J's get you the right equipment size. You enter all the home's details, the insulation, windows, leakage, climate, and layout. Then the software crunches the numbers, and you get two key results, the heating and cooling loads. The ACA Manual J is the industry standard for performing load calculations. It provides guidelines for estimating heating design loads based on building type and construction quality. For example, in New York, normal houses typically require 10 to 30 BTUH per square foot. Older, leaky farmhouses may need as much as 35 to 50 BTUH per square foot. New construction built to code averages around 10 to 15 BTUH per square foot. And passive houses, which are built to even higher standards and are highly energy efficient, require as little as 3.2 BTUH per square foot. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, oversizing. Oversizing happens when we install equipment that's overpowered for the home's actual load. Oversized equipment can lead to short cycling, frequent on and off cycles, which increases energy costs by reducing efficiency, reduces equipment lifespan by increasing wear and tear, and provides for poor indoor comfort through less consistent indoor air temperatures. If you've ever had a homeowner say, "It's cool, but I feel sticky. My system turns on and off all day," those are classic oversizing symptoms. The system is too powerful for the home, so it never gets a chance to run long enough to do the real work, like dehumidifying or even distribution of warm or cool air. When you follow a Manual J, you can prevent sizing mistakes. The calculated load number anchors us. Manual J's give a defensible, data-driven calculation. The big takeaway is, good comfort starts long before the equipment shows up on site. It starts with a proper load calculation. When we can understand the actual heating and cooling needs, everything downstream, equipment selection and duct design, better falls into place. Manual J's aren't paperwork. They're the roadmap to doing heat pump projects the right way. Keep in mind that the ACCO Manual J is already conservative. Experts estimate that its calculations can be overstated by 20 to 40%. So, to ensure accuracy, it's important to use accurate inputs and avoid relying on software defaults. Adding unnecessary safety factors can result in extremely oversized equipment, greater than 150% of needed load. By following ACCO's guidelines and using precise data, you can avoid these pitfalls. A properly performed load calculation ensures that heating and cooling equipment is sized based on the home's unique requirements. This not only improves comfort, but also enhances energy efficiency and reduces operating costs. By taking the time to perform accurate load calculations, you can ensure the best possible performance from your HVAC system. Thanks for diving in with us on the importance of load calculations. Remember, we're here for you at cleanheatconnect.ny.gov with more videos, resources, guides, and best practices. Hope to see you in our other sessions as we complete better installations together, one project at a time.